Hi, it's Bernie Slavin here. Thanks to Group Industrial UK Limited for sponsoring my new YouTube channel. As you can see, I'm not at Redcar or in Middlesbrough or the outskirts. I'm abroad. I'm actually in Portugal. Not a lot of people know that. As I say, I'm on holiday, but I remember it got me thinking. I was down at the bay this morning, and it was a bit blowy here, to be honest. You might be fooled with the sun, but it's pretty cold as well. But while I was down at the bay this morning, it brought back an interview, a short interview I did with Bryan Robson. I mean, everybody's heard of Bryan Robson, absolute United legend, superstar, arguably the greatest player in United's history. And I remember doing the interview, and it was in Hartlepool Marina. Yes, you heard right, Hartlepool Marina. It was like Portabanus. Well, it's the northeast Portabanus, if you don't already know. Anyway, we go there, and the guy who's skipper of the boat was none other than the last probably Newcastle United player. I have to hold this because it's blown about. Was Newcastle United captain, and probably one of the few. It's won a trophy, or is one of the few won a trophy. Captain Bob Kerr. So while I'm holding this stick, it's not the best. It's only balancing. Enjoyed a wee clip of Bryan Robson. It was Hartlepool Marina. Captain Bob Kerr, who lifted the UEFA Cup for Newcastle United many years ago. He was guiding the boat. And if my memory serves me right, the weather was so bad they wouldn't have let us out the marina into the sea. We just kept going round in circles. It was outrageous. But anyway, sit back and enjoy it.
You joined Borough as player manager 94 season. How did that move come about?
It was after a league game at Old Trafford. Alex Ferguson called me into his office and he said to me that there was an interest from Middlesbrough and Lenny Lawrence would like to have a chat to me. And so I said, yeah, I'll speak to him because I knew I was going to move on from United at the end of that season. So Lenny came in and he said that, Steve Gibson and Keith Lamb had spoke to him and they'd like his input as well as to who he feels could be manager of the club.
Did you feel at the time you were thrown in at the deep end, no managerial experience, just chipped right in there?
No, not really, because I'd seen certain players go from being a player to player manager. And Alex Ferguson was very good with me over the last sort of year and a half, 2 years. I used to drop the kids off at school early in the morning and I used to go in, so I was more or less first in every morning, as far as the players was concerned. And he was very good because he allowed me to go into the coach's room, and so what I saw was the coaches setting up the day's training and the chat, and Alex used to let me sit in on these conversations and that they were having, and that was a good experience for me.
Still with White. Square for Robson. Goal! Bryan Robson, the boss gets his first goal. Was it always an ambition to be a manager?
Yeah, it was. As soon as I sort of got to my mid-30s and that, I always had it in my mind I'd like to give it a crack.
You've played the 5-3-2 formation for a couple of years now. Why?
Well, sometimes you've got to go with what suits your players and who you can buy at the time. And, the times when I've gone out to try and buy quality wide players, and if you're going to play 4-4-2 and be successful, you need to have quality wide players. They just haven't been available and I haven't been able to get them. And so to me, that's a big part of playing 4-4-2. But trying to find the Giggses and the Overmars and all that of the world is very difficult.
Your big names attracted big name players, but they've all disappeared within 2 years. How frustrating is that for you as manager?
Well, it's frustrating in the sense that, if we hadn't got relegated, then we'd probably still be looking where we'd have Emerson, Juninho, Ravanelli. Now, if I'd added people like Pallister, Cooper, Gordon, and these players to that squad, with those type of attacking players, then we would have been a real side. But because of those players wanting to go, it's had to be a bit of a rebuild. you know, and we had to take sort of 2 steps backwards to go 3 steps forward again. You know, so relegation was a blow, but it could have been a far bigger blow, you know, if we hadn't got promoted straight away again.
Fleming keeps the pressure on Hignett. Could it be 3? In off the post. Promotion now surely settled. Craig Hignett, the scorer, celebrates with double strike Alan Armstrong.
On the subject of big names, while they were here, there's no doubt they entertained, they were superb. But I've said this season on the radio that it's not been the most entertaining season. Was this season about entertainment or purely consolidation? Or do you think we've entertained?
No, well, I think we've entertained in certain games. But what I wanted to have, I wanted a good solid base. And a British lads where I could get real good team spirit within the club. But that good solid base of experience where we weren't going to get relegated. And I think we've achieved that now. You know, from where the lads have gone now, the chairman's talking about giving me some more money again and that. So this time now, I think the structure of the club as a club is tremendous now. And is far superior to 2 years ago. The basis of the squad of players is a lot stronger, not just as players, but mentally, and the way the lads approach the game and the characters of them. And so to me now, that gives us a great platform now to try and buy maybe 3 or 4 top players in the summer, and to go on and try and better what we've done this season. A few players that I've tried to sign as the season's gone on just haven't been available. You know, and the clubs won't sell them. And it's like I say, if we're going to finish, if it is in the top 10 or whether it's even higher, to buy players, they've got to be better than the players that you've got. Now, if our lads have achieved, let's say, 8th in the league this season, if we do finish that high, you know, I've got to buy players who can get us higher than that. And that's not an easy task, because a lot of the good young players are all with the top clubs like the Uniteds, the Arsenals, and they don't want to leave, so you can never get any of them. If really good young quality British players come available, those clubs are in for them, and you can hardly compete, because the young lads want to go to those clubs because they're winning things every year. And so that makes it difficult. So you've got to go and start looking abroad again, where you know, you...
You're not going to Brazil again, are you?
Well, I don't know why you're not happy with getting another Juninho. But, no, I mean, you've just got to, you know, just broaden your vision, really, and just have a look and see what you think is quality and what can add to your squad and make it a better team for the next season.
Armstrong taking over. Armstrong gets his shot in, and he scored as well. And Alan Armstrong has scored on his debut. To make your debut for Middlesbrough, and Bryan Robson signings are really delivering the goods this week.
It's obvious you're going to be signing players in the summer. What kind of players are you looking for? Are you looking for flair players, fast players, up-and-coming stars?
Top class players.
Cheap players, top-class players.
Cheap top-class players in 21, 22 year olds, around that age.
So you're in for a difficult summer. I believe you're moving to the area.
Yeah, Benny, you know, I've been looking at it for quite a time anyway, but my 2 daughters were very important. When I first come to Middlesbrough, my 2 daughters were at an important age in the school, and, you know, they were sort of 15, 16. Also, I didn't know how successful I was going to be as manager, so you know how precarious this job is, you know. If I'd been hopeless in my first year, I might have been out on my backside. So that's the reason, mainly me 2 girls, plus I had a greeting cards business which I wanted to stay on top of in Manchester as well. The greeting cards business has been sold out. My 2 daughters now are at university and college, and so they're away. I bought a flat last year in the area, and you know, that's been okay, but my son's come to an age now as well where, you know, it's fine to move him from school and get into the area and that. So myself and the wife have made a decision, you know, to move up permanently in the area, and it'll save me getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning now. So I'm looking forward to my lie-ins.
What can myself, Alex, and the fans look forward to next season? Last question.
Well, hopefully what I can do is just bring a little bit more flair into us with some top quality players. I'm going to keep more or less the same squad though of players that we've got within the club, because I think they've done great work this season. They've worked tremendously hard for each other. You know, but just with that little bit more flair, if we can achieve that, I want another good cup run next year and to finish higher than what we do this year in the league.
He's only capsized twice.
Oh, that's
I'll let you tell me that after I come back off the boat.